Oh, just peaches.
Okay. Yeah. Come back. Still looks like it's a little bit off.
Yep, I just got the notification.
All right.
Could you refresh that page? There should be a the one that says live now is the meeting.
Yes, but as soon as I'm ready, then I'm like, Ashley. That's what happened with our neighbor last night. She's like, we're also
Down in the where all those video thumbnails are. Down where the video thumbnails are. The
Jen Adams is right.
lower. Yeah. It's
That's what I'm always trying to
Thanks. John Anderson just texted me. I went to the link and it wasn't there. Right as you were making it live.
We got 2 agents in the room.
You should start taking attendance.
Well, the Virginia Realtors Convention is this week. I would normally be at it. So, but that's Chris and Brant and Jeremy. I don't know where it is. Unless they're all planning on watching on YouTube.
Right. See how many viewers.
All right. Just increased by 50%.
Yeah.
No, they're not watching.
The audio is live right away. Just
Okay.
FYI, if you remember how to mute it, if you ever want to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody at the convention.
Never even have to do it.
So it's awesome.
Yeah.
To the website. Yeah,
Yeah.
Part of it at least. Okay, let's see what John says.
Hey, good location.
Yeah, the lunch would be great.
Your wife shared it, so it must be true.
She just shares it, a bit of rose at a time. It was so funny.
I'm getting better.
I shared something. I come in, he goes, "You don't really need that." I go, "Calm. None of my buddies answered. You did." He goes, "I gotta stop answering." I hit go and I said, "That's the all answer." She's like, "Oh my God."
Is there something else major going on today besides the convention? I mean, the convention would be Chris and Brant, Jeremy, maybe Debbie.
Upstairs.
Bert's usually here,
Hertz does, I think, JMU scuba this morning. He teaches.
Yep. All right, we'll get started. Feel free to move on up. So we've got a lunch and learn coming up next week with Parkview Credit Union, and instead of doing the normal "we're better than everybody else at what we do" thing, they're going to bring in they're going to bring in, I think, by video, a speaker, a motivational speaker. So, and they're bringing lunch from Ashita, which is yummy. Upstairs, Amy went on an organizing frenzy yesterday evening and put all the Klein May coffee, the new Klein May mugs in all the cupboards, and all the non-branded stuff is out on the upstairs kitchen counter. It is yours for the taking if you want it. Anything left by what date? End of the week?
Thursday.
Thursday is going to gift and thrifting. So if you need coffee cups at home, feel free. Amy also makes relocation packets for you to use. They're in the marketing closet upstairs. Just grab them as you need them, but when you do, please let her know that you've taken one so she can keep them replenished. Next week we won't be having any meetings. I'm going to be out of town at our broker group, our annual broker group meeting. So we'll be in New Jersey. This company that we're going to see has 4 offices, I think, in northern New Jersey and New York City. So about as different a market from us as there could possibly be. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do what they do.
Need me to go with you?
Want to go? You could interpret for me.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Ashley has stopped by because I had on the agenda just to ask you all for some feedback. There's only a couple agents in the room, though. So have those of you that are here gotten set up on Booker, or do you have questions about that?
I tried getting things in there, but I have no clue.
Okay. Should I show you again?
Yeah, 'cause
Go to the website like
I don't know about it yet, but-
Customer?
Come on up. We've got this size group. We might as well do private lessons.
Private lessons.
So
That's
you
a
just
good idea.
need
Just
Safari?
Swartz website. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Open this back up.
So now on our website, everywhere you can find a book now link, it goes straight to. Interesting, our website's loading really slowly. Oh no, it just, that thing was in the way. So everywhere you can find a book now link, it goes to Booker. You all have accounts. And the cool thing about the way that you have accounts is it shows in your account, it shows photography free, and the add-ons that you pay for, it shows the prices that you pay for those. If you were to try to go into Booker without your account, you would see the much higher prices that a one-off client would pay for photography. It also helps us to do all of our invoicing when you log into your account, and it allows you to change your appointments just like you always could with Acuity. Reschedule, do whatever you need to do. So if for some reason certain browsers won't load this little guy here, if for some reason it does, this will open it in a new window.
Which browsers?
I don't know. I haven't seen it happen. I think that all of us with Macs, we won't have any trouble. But this is like a built-in widget where you can do it. And then this is a link that will open it in a new window if for some reason you don't see this widget. And I want to make it centered.
People just set that book now link as a bookmark on their computers, right? Or is
Yeah.
it on the dashboard call?
I don't know.
If you put the app on your phone and just log in, you'll never have to log in again. It will stay logged in on your phone. It doesn't have like any kind of high security thing or anything. And that's what I would recommend. Now that we have a phone app, it looks exactly like this on your phone screen. So if I log in, it's going to mess us up because it will show my screen view, which is tremendously different from yours, which I didn't realize how extremely different until I started working with you guys. But
Can you log in as one of the agents or something?
Do you have to set up an account?
no, it's set up.
See,
Everybody is
that's
set
where I
up.
was having trouble.
Okay,
I'm trying
so
to-
if you go into, let's do Greg right now, actually.
let's do that.
Let me see what the reset your password link is real quick. Where's that link?
That's what I said.
I have to look for the email I sent out to everyone.
All right, I just got it on the laptop here.
All right.
Want to use this?
Or we can do it on here.
Oh,
Let me see if I just click login and try to reset your. Oh, there we go. I'm just gonna do it with. Is your email Greg or
Huh?
Gregory?
No, Greg. I use Basil.
All right. I'm gonna put your email and just say forgotten password.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to reset it on your
That's fine.
computer, and then we'll go through on
You
your
got the
account.
gap between Greg and Pat, right?
Yeah. You're going to receive a password reset email shortly. So if any of you, for some reason, did not see your original setup email, just reset your password and you'll be able to get into your account.
You went to clutter in mine, so I didn't see.
I'm
it
pretty
till
sure that
days later.
everything I send to anybody at Klein May that is not straight from my Cottonwood email goes to junk or straight to trash.
So do you want me to reset?
Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have to come up here and log in so we can use your account.
Well, I'll just give you an easy
I might
one.
open it up on this screen so it's bigger.
Why don't you just use, you can't, you need the link, right?
Somehow am I logged in? I need you to just come in and log into your account so that we can. What just happened? There we go. We don't want to tell everybody your password
I
because
just
then they
did
might
numbers,
schedule
I'll
photo
reset it,
shoots for
it's
you.
no big deal.
Oh, your password is Basil?
Exactly.
Really?
No.
That's a little bit precious.
I'm gonna save your mom's password.
Oh dear.
Okay. Let's see.
All right, now we are logged in as Greg. It is
Good.
prompting Greg to download the app on his phone, which is a really great idea if you're trying to schedule on the go. That's something we wanted for a long, long time and never had the ability to have an app. It's a huge reason why we went with uBooker to start with. That and the fact that they're so real estate centric, real estate photography centric especially. So this is the screen in Greg's account on the computer. If he were to go in it from his phone, it will look a lot like the screen we were looking at before.
How did you get to that?
I just clicked. So you have a dashboard,
Uh-huh.
which is going to just give you updates on the software and anything like that that they want to tell you. Create a booking is where you'd create a booking.
Okay.
View bookings is where you'll see everything that you have booked on a map. Calendar, you'll see everything you have booked on a calendar. Campaigns is your pictures, and you don't have any in here yet, so it's not going to show anything. And then My Suppliers is going to show you everybody who you're set up with. The system will work with any kind of real estate service suppliers. So you can literally, what it's designed for and the way that they use it in Australia is realtors, or they're not called realtors there, they're called something else. The whole club, I think it's just Australia Real Estate, the actual like group that supports real estate agents. But there, an agent will set the system up and invite everybody they work with, their plumbers and everybody, into the system so they can schedule them through a system on their own. You don't need to do that. We don't have that kind of support here. So don't worry about your suppliers. The only one that's going to be on there is us for probably a long, long time. And then this is your profile. This is where you can put a picture if you want a picture. It says mugshot, which is
Greg
fun.
probably has one of those.
He might.
I have to look back, yeah.
Yeah, he says yeah. And then you have notification settings. If you don't want to get emails from us every time I make a change, or when Elizabeth puts a code into your booking, it'll give you an email to say the code has been put in. When I confirm the time, you'll get an email saying the time's been put in. You can actually set it so instead of getting those emails in real time, you can get them daily or weekly or never. But I wouldn't recommend that because then you'll really miss everything. Hopefully you're getting UBooker emails. I have not had anybody tell me that those are going to junk. All of my emails from my Gmail account go to junk, but the UBooker ones everyone seems to be getting. If you schedule and don't automatically get an email saying you scheduled, there's something wrong. We're going to test it with you, Greg. So we're going to create a booking of just your house. What's your address? Power Dam Road, I know that.
Yeah, 704. And then
All right, that's Greg's house. It's zooming in on the map. That's exactly where it's located. So this is a plus for us about, I mentioned this at the last meeting, several times a year, maybe 12 times a year, somebody gives me the wrong address, their home address or something random, because their computer's automatically calculating the addresses. This is, remind you that this is where you're looking at.
looks like my house.
It is your house. So what kind of service do you want to book? In this situation, we're just going to click photography.
Take a pizza.
You could click videography or floor plan drafting. Those are the only services that we have in here now. We will be adding additional things that we do, but we just haven't set up in the system to do them. Photography is the most important. So then we're going to say that we're going to do 1,500 to 3,500 square feet. The contact person is going to be Greg. How do you scroll on your screen? There's no scroll bars. Actually, I'm just going to make it Amy.
2 fingers.
2 fingers. Brian just got one of these fancy computers and I haven't learned how to use it yet. I love it though. Here, that's so easy. And I clicked somebody wrong. So everybody is in here at Klein May, including staff. All right, so then Zach is the person who's available to photograph your photo shoot. He's the only one on here. I need to check on that. He might be the only one that was available this week in East Rock. And then I'm going to put no private access required because certainly Greg will be there. He's always there. And he wants a drone. I'm clicking the add-on service of drone. You can add on video, floor plan, or Twilight here in this screen. And it says very clearly the drone photo shoot will cost you $65. And the photo doesn't have a price at all because you guys do not individually pay for that. So it doesn't need to confuse you with a total that is much larger than what it should be for the add-ons you're responsible for. So then if you wanted to add any additional notes, like if Greg wanted to say, watch out for my mean dog or something like that, these are where you put notes. And this is also where you would put other people to notify. For any of you that have teams and you want somebody on your team to also know about the listing, like if you, like Matt and Andrea, if you wanted Claire to know that you were doing this so that she would know when the shoot was so that she could put it in the MLS. You could put it right here. For other situations where the homeowner is really, really, really touchy and you wanted them to get a copy of it, you could put their email address here. But for most situations, we have had to use it so far with notifying team members for the most part. Kathy and Faye, Claire, and I haven't had to put a homeowner in there, but there are situations where you might want to. So that's in the advanced options. So in your first step, you put the address, choose the service, choose who we need to contact. And this is also really special for teams. We're logged into Greg's account, but he has the choice of saying Basil is our contact person for this one, if they were working together as a team. And then you choose our staff member, let us know how we're going to get in, any add-ons, add notes if you need to, and then you get to the point where you choose your date and time. And this is going to prompt you to choose your date and time, and you literally just click it on the map. And then hit submit booking. Or on the calendar, not the map. So you can click your date and time for whenever throughout the day. This is not a confirmed time. If you want it to be a confirmed time for any reason, you still need to put it in the notes like you always did. I will still sun calc and rearrange. But I will try to stick, just like I always have when you gave me a time, to the time that you need to. If you really don't care, it's great just to click on 10 a.m. like we typically do. I'm interested to see why this is showing 2 other random shoots.
Right, because you're still in there as Greg.
They're Zach's shoots. These are the 2 things Zach has. This is interesting. I've never seen this from this point of view. So you can see what Zach has going on.
So every time an agent schedules something, they'll see what
The other photographer has
doing.
one. I'm not sure about that.
That could be a pretty cluttered calendar.
Do we pick
Well, at
the
least they'll-
photographer?
You can. Mm-hmm.
What if we just don't really know where?
That you pick first available. I need to ask about that. It's interesting that you can see what the photographer is doing.
Maybe it's just that particular photographer, maybe it's not everyone.
Yeah, because he's the one that's doing my shoot supposedly, so.
Yeah, he's the one that's doing your shoot. So I guess it's just letting you know that his schedule is legitimately full up to that point.
It is, yeah, it's got your name on it, Michael. I can see it from back there.
Mm-hmm. So Zach is doing Michael's floor plan tomorrow at 1. He has a shoot Thursday morning. And then that's his next available appointment. It's literally showing you that's his next available appointment. I don't know if that's a negative thing or a positive thing. I'm thinking about that right
Well,
now.
if you want a specific photographer, that would be awesome.
To see that they're legitimately
Yeah,
busy
that-
shooting.
Well, to know what his next available one is anyway.
Right. It will only show you his next available appointment. I don't know if it needs to show you what they're doing.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
up there showing him doing other things?
Right. I mean, by the time you're here, you already know who your photographer is.
Right.
As soon as you request the day and the location, it tells you who's available.
Right. So I'm gonna look into that because I have not ever seen the screen where it shows the photographer's other photo shoots. So anyway, that's the whole booking process.
Thank you.
It's good.
Do you have any questions? Do we want to make it so you can't see what Zach is doing?
Yes.
Michael's like, I don't need him to know that he's floor planning my listing.
Yeah.
Well,
I like
yeah, I
having
mean,
all the calendars.
there could be an issue with
Yeah.
confidentiality because that may be
Because they might not officially be
things
listed yet.
Might officially be signed.
Yeah.
We're not. Yeah, it's probably better not to show.
I will check on that. This is a constant thing with the system. Is it in Australia? So many things are different. Just like they don't worry about confidentiality. They don't worry about the level of photoshopping. They kind of run wild. I don't think they have any kind of. They don't have any kind of realtor association that manages ethics. So they have like a very loose law that's managing everyone instead.
Team gathers in there.
And it's so Australian based. So
That's right.
if y'all have any trouble, just call me and I'll try to like log in and walk through it with you. Because your screen looks so incredibly different from mine, I almost have to like look at it while we're talking about it. So we kind of need to do it in real life on the phone. Going back and forth in email is really unproductive for this kind of thing.
Yes.
I didn't go through to book it. I need.
Bucky will be on the phone.
We don't want Esther to freak out. Say what?
There's this weird guy with a camera at the door.
I don't think she'll be offended by Zach. She lives with you, right?
All right.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you.
Nope. that shouldn't say photography feedback. I'm going to email you all a copy of this article. That should say mortgage securities, mortgage bonds. Everybody remember mortgage bonds? This is what blew up the economy in 2008. Financial folks were taking, banks were giving lots of mortgages. They wanted to get more cash so they could loan more money. So they would sell their loans. Financial institutions would bundle up hundreds of these loans. One of the financial rating companies, either Moody's or Standard & Poor's, would supposedly analyze the risk of that and then classify it from a level of golden to super, super risky junk bonds, and then sell those to investors. And they kept selling more of them and kept selling more of them, and everybody was getting rich doing it. And so they started lying about the level of risk because they wanted to sell more of them. And so people were buying these bonds that were full of really, really horrible, risky loans, most of them on adjustable rate mortgages. And when the adjustments came, the economy crashed. And sadly, they're starting to do it again. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot, that's the wrong link. I'm going to have to send you a different link. I found one that didn't require a subscription. But there's some charts in there that show the level of those in the market. And right at 2008, it was sky high, over $1 trillion a year. And then it dropped off to nothing, and now it's beginning to build up again. So just something to be aware of, something to caution your clients about. If they're one of the signs that this would be going in the wrong direction is if lenders start getting loosey-goosey again in an effort to continually make loans because they make money by making loans. And we start seeing products that don't make sense, like over 100% loans, or the pick-a-pay plan where you can pick your payment regardless of what it should be, and if it's less than what it should be, that's okay because you'll just get an equity loan in 10 years and pay off the difference. So that was the loan that bankrupted Wachovia. Yeah, they bought a bank in California called Golden West, and that was their whole thing. That whole bank was built on that. And the Wachovia, I can remember them coming to the Preston Lake office and telling us about this wonderful new plan they had for all of these people buying $500,000 homes. If they can't afford the payment, that's all right. We'll do negative amortization. They can pay us less than what it should be for 10 years, and then we'll refinance it, and your house will have appreciated so much because prices are going up so quickly now that you can pay it out of your equity. You'll never even know it happened. And we're all kind of scratching our heads, and they were genuinely excited about it, and it took them down. So,
Well, if we run into noticing things that are shady like that, I mean, what's the recourse? What can we even do?
it's really just about warning your clients that if something appears too good to be true, it probably is. And counseling people, what got folks into a problem is people who really shouldn't be buying houses, weren't ready financially in their life to buy houses, were being given the opportunity to buy houses way more expensive than they can afford. So I think this is the first little glimmer of we need to start looking out for that.
Yeah, and one of the things to know would be if it's an in-house specific product to that bank, then it's probably not a QM mortgage, which is a qualified mortgage. So when everything crashed in 2008, then they came out with Dodd-Frank and all this reform, and one of it was qualified mortgage, which has a bunch of rules about the ability of repayment and how that's analyzed and calculated extremely carefully. And so that's kind of the difference is I think how they're bundling them, whether it's a QM or non-QM. And that non-QM market was really non-existent for years, and it just came back like a racehorse in the last 12 months. I would say last 6 months. Even at Movement, we call that portfolio. And I've got a ton of products. And I'm like, no income? What? We have these words again? I'm like,
Right.
no.
Right.
Bank statement qualifications instead of no docs.
Right.
Yeah,
When we start
so
seeing those kind of things
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
you
I
kind
just
of.
tell y'all, I'm staying away from them.
I'm ready for drive-by appraisals.
Right.
Well, part of the reason I asked was because I went on a listing appointment like 2 or 3 months ago in Shenandoah, And I went out there and I had comps ready and I had a range of what, and I mean, I comped his house really, really well to about 167 to maybe 172. The house across the street, same floor plan, sold the year before. The house next door, same floor plan, sold like 6 months before. So really good comps. He had just refinanced his house with some bank in New Mexico for $100, and they had appraised it at $210,000. And I was like,
And that's
and,
how
and
it
so
begins.
he then had a
Yeah.
loan, and he's like, well, I wanna list it and sell it. And I'm like, I can't sell it for you.
Right.
Like, you'll have to pay me money to sell your house. I mean,
Wow.
$210,000.
Refinanced 100% of the value?
Over 100%.
Well,
Yes, 100. Yes.
Mhm.
wow.
And they gave it to him, and they did it.
So those kind of products, when a lender is telling your client, basically, we're going to give you money even though it doesn't make sense, there's something really, really wrong going on there.
And he called the appraiser back because I was just like, I can't touch this. And he called the appraiser and told the appraiser what I said, and they were like, oh, well, she's wrong. I was like, I'm not wrong.
Was it a local appraiser?
No, of course not.
Where'd the appraiser?
I have no idea. So,
Yeah, I'm sure they're.
Where was it at? Page or
in
In Page.
County.
Yeah.
In Shenandoah County.
And a lot of that kind of stuff, and the crackdown on appraisers and the appraisal management companies being in between the banks and the appraisers is because that was happening a lot on a huge scale. You know, entire subdivisions, an appraiser and a lender would make a deal. I'm going to overappraise all of these houses, and you know, then the bank got stuck with all of these bad
Yeah.
loans.
It was a terrible
You know.
appointment. I was like, you just have to live in this house. Like, I don't know what else to tell
Right.
you.
And there were a lot of folks, for those of you that were in the business after things crashed and values dropped, where we had to have that conversation. I'm sorry, I can't sell it for what you owe. Just can't do it. So, yeah, so just something to be looking out for. Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's watching the news, but rates like dipped pretty drastically like 2.5 weeks ago. Well, they just swung right back. And I swear this happens
really
every
went
time.
crazy,
As soon as
yeah.
the news gets on it, everything's like, oh, rates are so low. It's like, yeah, well, they just kind of went back up again. So if you have anybody that's shopping, just make sure that they are getting same day quotes because the market's a little volatile right now. It's going up and down.
Right.
So,
What drives that is the bond market. So if
yeah,
that's a
30-year
concern,
average
keep an eye on the
20%
bond market.
down, at least 3.5.
Still great.
Yeah, right. I know.
It's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it's still less than it was a year ago.
3.125 with a point. Wow. And that was on September 5th. And then just since then, that same file, he ended up not locking. He wanted to play it, so then he locked. Then I locked on Thursday, and it was 3.375. So quarter point moves.
Yep. If you want to follow it, use whatever little financial widgets on your phone and set up the 10-year treasury. Mortgage rates pretty closely follow what that's doing. It's about 2.25 points below what mortgage rates will be. But if you see, just have a little arrow that tells you if it's going up or down, and that will tell you absolutely what's going to happen to mortgage rates. And it has. In the last week, it's been going up in huge jumps. But it's all due to the financial market. If people are afraid of stocks, they put their money into bonds, and the yields actually go down. So mortgage rates go down. Okay. So our synergy budget, I don't know, some of you may have come in late. Did everybody get a copy of this? Too small to see on the screen, for sure. So in our next couple of meetings of the committee, we're going to be talking about budgeting for next year. And we get questions. Actually, I don't get the questions. Rebecca gets the questions of why am I paying this 5%? Where's it going? So I thought we'd talk a little bit about that today so I could get your feedback going into this next round of budgeting. So just as a refresher, everybody pays 5% off of each deal, the company and the agent both, because at the end of the year, our average split is usually, company-wide, is usually right around 70-30. 70% of the funds in the money in the funds are made up from contributions from all the agents, and about 30% is from the company. Everything we buy, everything you see on that budget, we get at a huge discount because we're buying in volume. That's kind of the idea of this, is we do everything company-wide. We get huge price breaks on doing it, and we create our brand by having all these extra things on every single listing for every single client. I think the committee thinks, and that the theory behind it is, even if you don't have listings, and a lot of this money is going towards listing tools, anything that enhances the brand of the company, anything that enhances the image of the company in the mind of the public helps you. It gets people on our website, it gets the phone ringing, it gives you an edge anytime you're competing with any other firm. So even if you're just a buyer's agent, I think it still helps. Our biggest expenses in the budget you're looking at are photography, our marketing specialist, and the number you see there is not just pay, that's benefits and payroll taxes and everything else. And then Realtor.com and 5 Street. So, I didn't go to the right link. Try to make that a little bigger and look at the whole thing. Okay. So just to run down the whole deal with you, you can see that number at the top is pretty big. We collect a good amount of money, just spread around the 100 or so agents roughly. Photography, marketing specialist, Realtor.com are our biggest. The Realtor.com includes 5 Street. They're bundled together. So out of that figure, I think probably about high 20s, 30,000-ish is enhanced coverage on Realtor.com. And then the remainder is the 5 Street lead management. Our Emma newsletter, the company dashboard is a bargain. Testimonial tree, dot loop, and keeping current matters. So those are kind of in the agent tools category section of the budget. $205,000, or about 2/3 of the whole budget. DNR open house ads, which are split with the company. It's about 18,000. TV commercials. And that includes the airtime. So when we do TV commercials, which we have traditionally done in the spring and fall, of this year we did an extra long run in the spring, we pay for the airtime, and then we pay Appeal to produce the commercials for us. So that together was about 18,000. Radio, we actually didn't do this year. We took that money and applied it to a print publication, a quarterly kind of Shenandoah Valley publication. I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but it's kind of modeled after Virginia Living. What's it called? Shen Valley. That's it. Super well done. And a couple sponsorships. Publications, our listing presentation, which I brought a stack of them down here just in case there's anybody that's not using them. If you're not using these, to tell sellers what we can do for them. Get real familiar with that. It's a great document. And the luxury book, which just came out. We also designate a pretty good chunk for charity. That $25,000 this year is $20,000 to Habitat for Humanity, the Rockingham Central Valley group. We did the same amount with the Augusta Habitat for Humanity last year. And then the other 5 is made up of smaller things that may pop up through the year or be requested by agents. We just agreed to sponsor the Harrisonburg Bike Walk Summit that's coming up next month. And then remember, there's the company match. If you want to do something to help sponsor some kind of charity event and you get any kind of mention or marketing benefit at all out of it, the company will match your donation. So if you want to, up to $500 a year per agent. So if you want to have a particular level of sponsorship at an event that costs $1,000, you write the check for $1,000, bring Rebecca some kind of paperwork, and she'll refund you $500, half of it. You get credit for the $1,000 sponsorship, and you get the full tax deduction. So. General promotion. Marketing things that come up through the year. Some of our Klein May apparel, hats, shirts, that kind of thing. And we do have to pay. This is a separate corporation, actually, the Synergy Fund, and it's taxable. So we have to pay to have a tax return prepared every year, and that's why some years we've done the refund. Is because if we have money at the end of the year, we have to pay taxes on it, income taxes So it's a tough thing, and it caused us some problems this year because a lot of our expenses are loaded in the front end of the year. So if we give back all the money, and then we start having big bills come in January, February, March, when we're not selling a whole lot of houses, we have to borrow from Klein May and then pay it back in the summertime, and it gets a little tight. So we may change it a little bit this year. So that's how that $325 is spent. And the fund is for marketing, technology, agent tools, charitable contributions. It doesn't pay for all of the marketing and things that we do, just to give you a frame of reference. So far this year, on the company side, the company has paid $35,000 for general advertising, $21,000 to the Daily News Record, $30,000 for general marketing, $10,000 for special photography, events, stock photography, reshoots for the luxury book, and then the TV show, $36,000, which we'll talk about in a minute. So, any questions or comments on the general budget? So that TV show number of $36,000 is really high, and it's more. By the end of the year, the company will have over $50,000 into the TV show, which is not really sustainable. So one of the things the committee is going to be looking at this year is helping with that, not taking on the full amount, but taking on maybe something above $25,000. The company would take in $25,000. Something above that would be paid for by the fund. We're working on. We still need 2 sponsors. I've mentioned that to you a couple times. We're working on a more organized campaign to get them now with Andy from Appeal. So if we're fully sponsored, there'll be about $13,000 or so that the committee would be picking up. If we're still needing 2, it'd be about $25,000. So that's going to be the discussion at the next meeting.
What kind of sponsor are you looking for?
The sponsorships are $500 a month, and they're industry exclusive. So we're happy to take anybody that doesn't conflict with the 4 that we've already got, who are Aztec Home Inspections, DuPont Credit Union, Landis Heating and Air, and Hawk Security. So, any comments on that? Ideas on that? What's happening with the TV show? You know, the 2 sponsors, if we get those other 2, that brings in $12,000 a year against the 50 couple or so that we've had to put into the show this year. That's not a huge dent. So what's really happened is the cost of production we've been doing this 15 years, and the cost of production has gone up by several factors, and we've only changed the rates once. So the idea is, rather than raise rates on the agents and make it a tougher advertising decision, the committee just take a little bit off the top and then keep the rates the same. So that'll be the discussion at the next meeting. If you have ideas on that, I'd love to hear them. We're not going to budget any extra income for next year. I don't think that would be smart. So if we end up adding things, we'll have to take away some things as well. Questions, comments, ideas? Anybody surprised by the numbers? Is that pretty much what you expected? Energetic crowd today. Let's see. All right, HRIR stuff. I didn't put my files in the right folder here, so I'm going to have to get them manually. You have the Affiliates Day registration there. That's coming up next month. Yep.
Still reading this.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I guess my thing is 21,000 still going to the DNR.
That's
You're getting-
open house
why are you
ads.
putting that in papers?
Well, open house ads, because the company and
But
Synergy
we
split
do
those.
open house ads on TV show, correct?
I noticed we're doing less in the showcase, the once a month print thing. We used to have 3 or 4 pages full, and now we're doing a lot less. And that may be all newspapers, so North Fork Journal and the Augusta papers as well. The newspapers are more popular in Augusta, and there are two of them. There's a Stanton and Waynesboro paper, and so you generally have to be in both. It's kind of silly. But that is nothing compared to what we used to spend. I mean, we used to have a full color page every Saturday, and just that page was $3,000. So that's $150,000 a year just on Saturday ads.
I remember.
Yeah, but that was, before the internet. That was the main advertising vehicle. So, is anybody on an HR committee that's working on this Affiliates Day? It looks like they've got a pretty phenomenal education lineup. So for $25, you can meet the affiliates, get lunch at Cross Keys Vineyards, and get 5 hours of CE in a live classroom setting from VR's attorneys. So contract issues, agency, real estate laws you need to know. If you're all caught up on CE, Michael Guthrie, who's a good presenter from Roy Wheeler in Charlottesville, is going to do something on personal promotion. So I would strongly encourage everybody to go. It's always a great event. We also have the Day of Caring coming up, which is, I mentioned to you, we had a fundraiser a couple weeks ago for Build United. That raised over $1,000. So on the Day of Caring, any volunteers from HRAR are going to work on those Build United projects. Don't need to have particularly strong skills in any of the trades. There'll be experienced folks there to kind of guide the crews. But if you'd like to work on that, you can just click on the latest HRAR newsletter and sign up. It is Wednesday. Unfortunately, I'm still going to be out of town. We've got a realtor open today. Matt, you want to?
On the east side of town, all within about a mile of each other. Two in Battlefield and mine in Madison Village. All of those elusive upper $300,000 homes in Spotswood that somehow now are not selling.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did all year and all summer. And yeah, it's a little concerning. My particular home is one of the Madison Village, the largest version that they
Right
made
here.
of their homes. It's the 4-bed, 3.5 bath. It has 3,300 square feet, including 600 square feet in the basement. It's got a 200 some square foot screen porch. It has solar panels. They have $15 a month electric bills.
Nice.
15.
For 3,300 square feet.
Yeah.
What's the price?
$379.9.
Excellent.
And I will be having lunch and my own famous pasta salad.
Oh my.
Boot boot.
So
You
keep
will
it
after
down
today.
All right.
So here's a new listing that Lisa and I have. When I sent it to Carl yesterday, it wasn't under contract.
Aha.
So I'm still awaiting one last signature, but I mean, you can flip through the pictures if you want, but I'm expecting it will not be available much past.
Does it look like a pretty solid contract?
Yeah, I mean, all the normal contingencies, but it's a great house. Single story on a full finished basement.
Oh, I like that
acreage
stairway.
The acreage is just beautiful. It's like nature lovers paradise with the deer and the bear and the turkey. And all that. What have you ever seen before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's that spiral staircase going down to the basement.
There's
Right
the
there
other
it is.
side of it.
There in the
Yeah.
corner of the basement.
Right.
But you can enter from the front of the house and just go up a few steps to the front porch without having to do those stairs every time. Yeah. Hey, it went under well, like I said, I say that loosely, but We had offers within just a couple of days. So
Really?
It wasn't that odd.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a perfect place for somebody.
right.
Yeah.
And then some land.
This one is still available. This is 1.22 acres in the TA school district, right on Weavers Road. It's being split off from a residence. The residence is 814 Weavers for any type of reference that you need. You can park in that driveway when you're looking at the property, but it's just a flat rural lot. You of course have to put in your own well and septic, which I'm sure is the only reason why it's still available. But it's just, yeah, nice flat, great
Yeah.
lot, convenient to
Close to
town and everything. Yeah. We did have an offer on it, but wasn't able to work it out.
Mm.
So if you want to look at it, just, yeah, it's a 4-bedroom alternative septic letter on file.
Okay. Leela couldn't be here, but she's got a listing coming up. It goes in the MLS on Wednesday. It is on Honeysuckle Lane. 3 beds, 2 baths, fenced backyard, great condition, $279.9.
Is that off the old Jockey's Floor?
No, it's over by the Sheets, off of
Rear
Market
Acres.
Street.
It's Rear Acres.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is, it's Honeysuckle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who else has listings I want to talk about?
$32.95 a year.
This, guys, is one of the coolest transformations I've ever seen.
This
Whoops,
This
sorry.
this is an unusual story. This house was built by an older or middle-aged couple some time ago to be their getaway dream retirement home. And before this history worked out for them, the lady died. The fellow was so distraught, he never went back to the house, and that house sat there for some number of years, and I forget, 12, 13 years?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was 6 years, and I was the first person in it in 6 years.
And apparently, he never went back. Well, you sold it, right? Well, maybe you know a little more about that history than I do. Well, apparently, all the clothes, all the dishes, all the personal effects were left there.
Yeah, we just never went back.
The house got all overgrown. Well, Rodney Eagle bought it, and the house has been completely redone. He has all new cabinetry, all new vanities, all new appliances, all new flooring, all new sliders, and there's 6 of them, all new windows. He did painting, staining, he did repairs to some of the shingles outside. It's a cute little house. It's got 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. Why it has 3 baths, I don't understand. If you see the house, you'll know what I mean by that. It's got that little spiral staircase down to the finished walkout rec room.
I mean, to say was overgrown is an understatement. This is right down the road from me. We sold a house, listed and sold the house next door to this.
You never saw the house?
And had a problem, and I was out there with the folks at this house, and I didn't know there was a house there.
Yeah.
Until they pointed it out.
I mean, so
Yeah.
anyhow,
Unbelievable.
I'm getting a lot of look-sees on it. It's $189.9. It would be great for a family, young couple starting out, retirement home, rental property, any way you want to shake it. That washer and dryer, and you could confirm this. That washer and dryer was new when these folks built the house, and they were never used. And those are the original washer and dryers. They're old, but they've never been used. That's the lower level.
So they had the stairs with a puzzle piece covering the whole opening, like I guess for heating or something.
Okay.
But so I had to disassemble the puzzle piece, go down the stairs, and it was floor to ceiling mold. Yeah. So they've done a lot of work in that basement to get it clean.
Yeah, it's all cleaned out. Very nice piece of product.
I mean, it's amazing to look at that,
It's level.
It's a great yard.
to know what it looked like 3 months ago.
The deck's been stained. Some of the board's been replaced.
So, $189.9.
Well, it is rather strange, and I'm not really sure. There's a bathroom. There's no master room with the bathroom and the master bed. But downstairs is a first floor master with the bathroom right next to it. And upstairs there's 2 bedrooms and 2 baths.
Yep, and they're this exact same size.
Hmm.
I don't know.
So you
Super
can see
cool.
the yard slopes slightly downhill.
Mhm.
Got a fireplace, of course. Not of course. That little deck off the upstairs bedroom has been supported. Ronnie did a really
Yeah.
nice job.
Yep. Okay. Who else?
Oh, actually, can you show my land listing at 0 Bethel Church Road? There it is.
This one?
139. Yep. It's like just over 6.5 acres.
Mm.
Just stunning views from the build site. Certified for conventional 4-bedroom.
Wow.
New driveway put in to access the property because you have a shared right-of-way, deeded right-of-way from Bethel Church Road. And they added in a new driveway to get onto the property. It's really nice.
Hmm.
We did have an offer on it, but couldn't work it out, so it would be a great, beautiful home spot.
That's it.
How many acres?
6.65, I think.
With a
800.
conventional septic.
It's almost completely fenced too, so if you wanted to have it totally fenced, it would only be a little bit of work to get it totally fenced.
Are the trees the border or some of that included?
Trees are the border.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. Thanks for coming.
Can I say something to the general?
Sure.
Sitting here this morning, I just got a text from a friend of mine. One of my good friends is hit by, when he was on his bike, and he's in UVA in very bad condition.
So who was that? I saw it online.
There's her.
It was Dennis. That was my first thought. Dang.
Is that the different one?
Yeah.
They know the car, and the driver was a blonde young lady in a red car. So, if anybody knows blonde young ladies in red cars,
Was it
Yeah.
in Harrisonburg?
It's on Cross Keys Road. This is a guy who's a phenomenal bike rider. Survived another bad car accident years ago that left him with some hearing damage and messed up his brain. But he rides that road every single day.
he's a guy that will go out to Colorado and do this 100-mile event. He's run the event and ridden the event on his bike. He's an old guy now. After he got hit the first time,